Hello chess lovers! Earlier I have already published such unique games like the Immortal Losing game or the Tomb game. But what about a game which is known as the Pipe game? Let's go through it. So, the following game which I want to share with you was played between legendary American chess player Frank Marshall and English chess player Amos Burn. Burn was one of the world's leading players at the end of the 19th century. The game was played in 1900 in Paris. While going through the game, I will use Marshall's notes, which are taken from his famous book, My 50 Years of Chess. First, here is what Marshall writes about Burn. Britisher Amos Burn was a very conservative player who liked to settle down for a long session of closed defensive chess. He loved to smoke his pipe while he studied the board. So in the game, Marshall had white pieces and he opened up with d4, to which Burn answered with d5, c4. Marshall goes for Queen's Gambit. Marshall writes, Burn began hunting through his pockets for his pipe and tobacco. e6 was Burn's answer. Queen's Gambit declined is on the board. Knight c3, knight f6, bishop g5. Marshall writes, not much thought needed on these moves, but Burn had his pipe out and was looking for a pipe cleaner. Bishop e7, e3 black castled kingside, knight f3. And here the main moves are h6 and knight bd7, but in the game we see b6, which is also a decent move. Bishop d3, bishop b7, c takes d5, Marshall writes, he began filling up his pipe. I speeded up my moves. Black recaptured with the pawn, and an exchange on f6 followed, after which we have h4. Marshall writes, made him think on that one, and he still didn't have the pipe going. The threat is bishop takes h7 followed by knight g5 check, known as Pillsbury attack. g6 by Burn, he's neutralizing the threat, although I have to tell you that the bishop sacrifice on h7 is not that scary as Marshall thinks. Okay, in the game we see g6 and h5. Now white wants to open up the h file and switch into the attack the rook as well. Still, Marshall is leaving his king in the center and he hopes for a destructive quick attack. And in view of the fact that white king is still on e1, at this point playing c5 and trying to open up the position as soon as possible is a good idea, but instead we have rook e8. H takes g6, Marshall writes. Now he was looking for matches. H takes g6, queen c2. Already white is creating a very dangerous bishop takes g6 threat, but black underestimated the power of that move and played bishop g7. It was better to play king g7, both strengthen the pawn shield and also maintain the possibility of defending with a move like rook h8. Instead, in the game after queen c2 we see bishop g7 and white's next move just asks itself to be played. Here we go, bishop takes g6. Marshall writes, he struck a match and appeared nervous. The match burned his fingers and went out. All black could do was to recapture, and we have queen takes g6. Now the knight will also come and white will create mating threats. Marshall writes, another match was on its way. Knight d7, and there comes the knight with a direct mating threat. Also white is creating another threat which you will find on your own. Marshall writes, he was puffing away and lighting up at last, but too late. Queen f6, black is neutralizing the threat from f7, but there was something else in Marshall's mind, and at this point please give a try to find mate in 2. Ready? Well, that's actually very simple and it goes like this. Marshall sacrificed his rook on h8. He's forcing black king to step on h8, after which he's announcing a checkmate with queen h7. Marshall writes, poor Burn, I think I swindled him out of that one. If he could only have got that pipe going, it might have been a different story. He took it good-naturedly and we shook hands. Then his pipe went out. So this is it, dear chess lovers. I hope that you enjoyed the so-called pipe game. Marshall was too merciless in this game. He didn't even allow his opponent to get the pipe going. On move 18 we have a checkmate on the board. In the end, a chess puzzle for you where the task is to win with the black pieces. As usual, we'll wait for your answer in the comment section. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in my next video.